Also, I feel so bad for Aisha Curry and the way that men respond to her every time she's honest about the realities of motherhood and wifehood is exactly why I never wanted to be a wife or a mother. Men act like saying anything less than "it's the most amazing thing that ever happened in my life and I wouldn't trade it for the world" is blasphemy. Like, and it's because it disrupts this fantasy world that they live in where they think all women want is to clean my dirty drawers and raise my children. That's all they want. And once they have that, they'll be happy. And that's all they should want. Like, and the fact that it's like, no, no, there's a lot more to the story than that. There's a lot more to women than that because we're human, complex, dynamic beings. I know you didn't know that, right? Why would you want to lock yourself in a house in a marriage with somebody that literally can't even see you beyond themselves? They can't even see a woman beyond being their wife and the mother of their children, a caregiver, a constant sacrificer. Like, I don't want nothing to do with that. That sounds like a nightmare. That sounds like hell.
Have you ever even been in a relationship that wasn't situational? Have you ever been anything more than a momentary sexual object for either sex, everything in between and shit? I doubt it. Okay? I doubt it when I listened to you and shit. And I saw your page and I saw that you said that you were a professional man hater and shit. Why do you hate men and shit? You are non select. Okay? Alright, red bone, big thick red bone. Alright? Whatever orientation you are, you're non-selective women too. Right? They're not picking you right off the bat. Right? If I was wrong, right, you were right and shit. When I went to your motherfucking page, I would not see umpteen million pictures of your face in extreme close-up and shit. Alright? And I don't care how many wigs you put on it, this doesn't justify that number of photos of your face up close. Okay? Nobody needs to see you like that and shit. And then on top of that, if you really felt that way, you was extreme man hater and shit. And I could be wrong. Why do we have sporadic thirst traps all over this bitch and shit, showing off your fat body and shit, okay? There's nothing that sets you apart from any other woman and shit. You disappear in the crowd and you know this and you fucking hate it and shit. And all you do is talk shit. And you can't communicate. Have you ever even talked to a man? Have you ever been in a fucking relationship? The things that you said in the fucking video is your goddamn problem and shit. I'm tired of sitting by and listening to it and shit. Right? I'm old enough to be your fucking father and shit. So maybe you didn't have one and shit. So maybe this is what you need to hear and shit is that you are basic and shit. Okay? You're meta basic. Right? Even your talk game is nothing new and shit. Alright? You get tired of hearing this bullshit from you fucking women and shit. You had the ability to walk out the door. You had the ability to use birth control and shit, okay? You can leave. You can pursue your best life. But a lot of you motherfuckers stay hiding in the cut, wasting the best years of our lives and shit. We struggle and slave to keep a roof over your head and keep you entertained enough to get 5 minutes of fun, right? Right? And you talking all this bullshit, right? You imagine what it's like to work a dead-end job in a system that is built for you to fail, you know, thematically, economically, spiritually, and socially, right? We're the boogeyman of the world and shit. You prove that by your lame talk game and shit. And I'm just tired of fucking listening to it. And you need to be whipped from pillar to post and shit. Where the fuck is your father and shit? All we ever see is your fucking face, your big, bloated, flabby cheeks in extreme close-up, or your shitty body and shit. And whatever you choose to wear and shit, which is a lot of nothing. Okay? I looked at your fucking page. I get nauseated from seeing the number of staggering up close shots of your fucking face with various wigs on it and shit. Hey, when you put a wig on, does that does new personality come with that? Maybe something more interesting and shit. Maybe you should change your hairpiece, Baldy. Maybe you should do that and shit, okay? People get tired of listening to this bullshit from you women and shit. I'm black. I'm tired of listening to this bullshit. Now tell men every fucking day that they don't have to fucking listen to shit, that they're not responsible for your happiness and shit, or lack thereof and shit. And I'm right. You're wrong and shit, okay? If you women are so put out and disaffected by the things we do, that you go build your own motherfucking society without any input from us, I would love to see this utopia, right? But I know what will happen and shit. And I have a number of female siblings and shit, if you could even call it that and shit. And all they do is bring destruction and chaos and shit. They have you outclassed in every way in this scum of the earth and shit. So what does that look like for you when you don't even measure up to that? Okay? You need to shut your ass up and go find something better to do with your life instead of sitting on the internet complaining and shit. You know, we don't want to see your face in close up. We don't want to see sporadic thirst traps from you and makeup tutorials and shit. There's billions of those out there and shit. And it's much better ones to pick from than you. Okay? What do you have to offer? Right? That's what we ask. That's why we started asking what you motherfuckers bring to the table. Because Jada Pinkett Smith decided to fuck over her husband, who was worth over $360 million at the time. She decided to sit in front of him and tell him that she had had sex with his son's buddy and shit, his son's friend, who was recovering addict and shit. She groomed and molested that boy and shit. But you motherfuckers don't ever do nothing about that. You don't check each other. You don't have any kind of code of conduct that would make us even think about fucking with you. And then you sit up and you worry yourself to death, worrying about that we're gonna fuck white women and shit or any kind of other woman and shit while flapping your wig and shit and just acting like giant children and shit. All you want to do is stay for a short time, not for a long time. There's nothing worth sitting in front of you except for you to get up, turn around, and bend over and get on your hands and knees and shit. Take these 5 minutes of pleasure, I guess, okay? It don't matter. You hate men, right? You hate the idea of men, but you post thirst traps and shit. Why do you even make yourself up? Now, why don't you just walk around in your natural state? You know, let the hair grow out on your arms and your yeehaw down there and shit, and take your wig off and walk around your bald ass head and shit. I guarantee nobody's gonna fuck with you. You're a big, thick, red bone chick and shit, okay? Built like a rectangle and shit. You didn't tell me I never saw that before. I don't see any other women that look like you. I've seen at least 50 women that look like your ass in the last 10 years alone and shit. And a lot of them were more happier, more complete than you and shit. Why would I have to suffer myself or tell anybody I know or my children and shit to sit in front of you and take abuse and shit, verbal abuse? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Okay, you talk shit. It's a free country. It's free speech. So you gotta hear what I gotta say and shit. If you stupid enough to click on this motherfucking video, and I include the link in your fucking comment section, asshole. Right? So you can see it. Right? Because we tired of your shit. Right? You want to smoke? Here's fucking smoke, my nigga. Right? You a professional man hater and shit. And I'm a professional booster and shit for that your misandry. Right? You want to hate me, and I'm gonna give you a man to hate shit. I'm gonna give you all of us to hate. All of us standing here in the dust looking at you, because we squeeze blood from a rock every day just to get a modicum of your uh, distaste for us and shit. You know, you can't just come out the closet and say you're gay, right? You want to stay up in the cut and pretend to be something you ain't and shit, and poison other people who might have a chance at happiness and shit. Give yourself a pat on the back. The devil will be up with your promotion from HR in a minute and shit, okay, asshole? And you're socially engineered. You don't know who the fuck you are, alright? Or you wouldn't be sitting up here saying this shit, alright? You're a young person and shit. And I assume you do some kind of work, or maybe you're a prostitute or something, or you know, what they call it, a sugar baby or something for some simp and shit. And how does that feel and shit if that's true and shit? You still have to get it from a man and shit. And he has to get it from the dust and squeeze blood from a rock just so that you could disrespect him for however long you feel and shit. And boost yourself because you have no self-esteem. Alright? Yeah. You said you feel sorry for Aisha Curry and shit. Who's forcing Aisha Curry to live in a palatial estate and have access to hundreds of millions of dollars and shit, and have a husband that could actually call up the president and shit, the former president, and go look him in the face and shit, you know? And you could talk. Aisha Curry could talk to Michelle Obama and shit, and both of them can jointly disrespect their husbands and shit. Can you do that? Can you do that? Did Stephen Curry forced 4 kids on her ass and shit at whatever age she was? Huh? He provided protection, provision, and security and shit to the ninth degree and shit. And he don't deserve no fucking loyalty. And I don't even like that motherfucker and shit. Right? What do you have? Right? Who gives you the right to comment on that? More specifically, what gives you the right to drag us if you hate us and shit? You shouldn't even see us. Okay? Alright? And you have a nice motherfucking day, bitch.
The Black Patriarchy. A non-existent group of fictional black male power brokers not discredited, erroneously jailed or outright killed by the minority majority who look the other way as they work tirelessly to shame, oppress, and outright take out the altruistic black female populace of the honorable democratic United States of America. 3K's inset bitches. These evil wealthy members of the black patriarchy are the sole reason for all the ills of the black community, walking, talking, holding down jobs, and doing everything up to and including giving their very lives in service to their baby mamas and baby's motherfucking kids. Their motto that strikes fear into the hearts of black women everywhere: bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.